Hey guys, it's Sammy. I just wanted to go over and review a new pump that I got. It's the Willow. I purchased it with my fourth boy. The only reason I purchased it was because my dog decided to chew up my Elvie. Roughest day of my life. No, I'm lying. It wasn't the roughest day, but I did cry. I did definitely cry. That was very sad. So I decided to get the Willow so that I could do a review and I could just see if I liked it. Originally, I wanted to purchase the Willow. The only reason I didn't was because in 2019, they only had the one that had the bag and it didn't have reusable containers. And the reusable containers were huge for me. I didn't want to invest any more money in something because in my mind, it just doesn't make sense to put so much money into a pump and still have to put more money into individual bags that are super pricey. And the Willow bags are very pricey. Moving on. So I purchased this at Target. The reason I purchased it at Target is because they have a 90-day return policy for anything. I specifically asked the woman if that goes towards pumps. She said yes. So we'll see when I try and return it. Now, let's kind of get started. I am going to start with suction. The suction on the Willow is much better than the Elvie. That being said, suction isn't huge. I really use a little bit higher of a suction at the very beginning, kind of when the suckling phase is versus the gulping phase. So it does have like two different modes. It has the suckling that it starts off with. You can switch it, you can switch it to the gulping. I know that there's probably technical terms for this, but I can't remember them. And it will automatically do that as well, right? However, I mean, it's not like I never really went all the way up to the highest suction. I used a higher suction during the suckling phase and turn it down during the gulping phase, but that's pretty much it. So suction's higher than Elvie, if that matters to you. Let's talk about cleaning. It's very easy to clean. The Willow is kind of difficult. It had this little tiny piece. My dog chewed it up, but this is one that I actually requested before I actually fully went through and cleaned this with my third boy. When I purchased this originally, I requested these because you have to take them out, and I heard that they're very easily breakable. I think the best way to take them out is by like kind of stretching them out like this and it pops out easier. But anyway, there's videos about that. So these little tiny things would easily hide milk, and it would dry and it was gross and you just like constantly had to keep up on it. This was a pain. I didn't like that part. Probably why my dog ate that specific part first. But this is easier because everything's larger in quantity. There's no like little tiny areas that can hide the milk, and it's much easier to clean all those areas because they're smooth and it's just better in that sense, okay? So suction, it's better. Cleaning, it's better. Spilling milk, right? So leaking, let's talk about leaking. Elvie, it definitely leaked. I had some leaks every now and then for sure with my Elvie. I would use the reusable suction pad or leaking pads, or I would use the throwaway ones depending on if my reusable ones were clean or not, right? Sometimes you keep up on laundry, but with 3 or 4 kids, it's kind of hard to do that. This one, I haven't really had any spillage. I tipped over one time and it kind of spilled a little bit, but that was pretty much it. It's really good with not spilling. And then let's talk about sound. Willow, it's louder. Yep. Just the truth. It's a lot louder. If you're sitting there and you're talking to somebody and it's not really like any background noise or music or anything like that in the air, they'll probably hear it. And if they notice it, you can just say, yeah, I'm pumping. That's just what I do anyways. You can still hear the Elvie. I mean, it's not like it's silent, but the Willow is definitely louder, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. So we went over suction, we went over sound, we went over leaking, we went over cleanliness. It's easier to clean. Troubleshoot. Let's go with troubleshoot. Oh, I love everything else about this pump except the troubleshoot. I don't like to use the word hate, so I'm gonna try not to, but I really don't. I don't like this pump in the troubleshooting sense. I can't figure out what's wrong with it. I have tried numerous things. Sometimes it'll take me 5 to 10 minutes to actually get it to work for me. Sometimes it works perfectly fine. For example, there is a R and an L on the very top here. You may or may not be able to see it, but I had it on, the correct ones, pumped for 25 minutes, my right side, which is dominant with how much milk I get, I'm pretty sure, had nothing, literally empty, nothing. And I could feel my letdowns, everything. And there was nothing in there. So that was really hard when that happened, because that has never happened to me before. So I had already troubleshooted it numerous times before I took it off and did it and let it pump for, or put it back on and let it pump for 25 minutes. So at that point, I just emptied my left one and I just switched it, because obviously my left one was working and my right one wasn't. So I just switched it, and lo and behold, my right pump still got milk out of my left side, and my left pump got milk out of my right side. I did nothing except switch them. So moving forward, that's actually how I pump now. Moving forward, I use my left one for my right side for my left side, if that makes any sense. Right? So troubleshooting, super negative, don't like it, hate it, in fact, and has brought me to the point where I want to return it because of that. Okay, so there's that. Everything else about the Willow, I actually really like, and I wish that the troubleshooting wasn't such a pain. Let's talk about the apps, right? So Elvie has an app, Willow has an app. Elvie app is like, this is Wi-Fi. This is a Wi-Fi unit. It actually like connects to your app. The unit itself connects to your app, and you can control your Elvie with the app. You can turn the suction up, you can pause it, you can change the modes, you can check to see how much milk you have. It's not always accurate, right? Because the sensor is not always correct. So take that with what you will, right? Grain of salt. But the app for the Willow literally tells you how long you've been pumping and how much battery life is left. It also doesn't like censor if you, there's no sensor to turn it off. So if you overflow this, you overflow it. It's like pouring out at the top. Thankfully that hasn't happened. I have taken it off at the 25-minute mark, and it was like almost out of the top of this little thing here, this little hole right here. But there's no sensor like there is with the Elvie. Elvie sensor is good and bad. Like I said, it's not always correct. And so sometimes it'll shut off at 3.5 ounces or 4 ounces. It won't make it all the way to the 5th ounce. And so I'll just override it, and I'll keep pumping either way. And I'll get it to that 5th ounce mark, right? The Willow just doesn't have a sensor to tell you how far you are. And everything's manual. So if you want to change the mode, you're opening your shirt, clicking the button. You want to change the suction, you're opening your shirt, clicking the button. You want to check to see how much milk you might have, just in case if you overflow, you gotta open your shirt and you gotta look at it. So all that kind of stuff, depending on where you work, it's not very great. I'm not super fond of it. I will say I love that I can open my shirt and see the milk. That is like, that's nice to me. Because you can't do that with the Elvie, and that's just one thing to keep in mind. So these are my thoughts on the Willow versus the Elvie, or just the Willow in general. And then I have a review up for the Elvie when I originally got it. I loved the Elvie, right? And I still really enjoy the Elvie. I wish the Willow didn't have as many troubleshooting issues. Otherwise, I would love the Willow, but it does, and I just can't stand it. I like get so sick of it after I've put it on and had to take it off, have to take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it apart, then, no, put it on, take it off, take it apart, put it back together, then put it on again, and then you do it 20 more times, and you're like, this is a pain in the butt, because it is. The Elvie, I knew what I had to do every single time, and I did it, and it never caused issues, right? So I would do how it was supposed to be done, put it on, and I would forget about it, right? The only issue was that it would leak every now and then if I bent over or did something. You have a little bit more range of motion with this Willow, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't decided if I'm gonna return it or not. The biggest thing that I love about it is that it's easier to clean. Oh, it's so much easier to clean. So much easier to clean. So those are my thoughts on the Willow. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. Yeah, mama of 4. So I am a mama of 4 beautiful boys. Here is one of them. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. And one of my favorite outfits that I have for him is Burt's Bees, and it's so cute, just like you. Now, I have breastfed for all 4 of my boys, and I did not fully get through a year of breastfeeding with my first son. So unfortunately, I got to 6 months, and though that was one of the hardest things in my, like, not life, but it was very hard at the time. It was very difficult as a first-time mom to have to accept that I couldn't feed my baby, or I wasn't able to, and I didn't have the support, and I didn't have the knowledge. So with my second boy, I dug really deep, and I made sure that I was not gonna have any issues with him, and that included making sure that I had enough milk for when I went to work, and becoming an oversupplier. I actually became an oversupplier with my second boy, and I have been an oversupplier with all of them since then. Somehow it just kind of like domino effect. You become an oversupplier once, you're basically an oversupplier the rest of your babies, which is great. It made me have no issues after that. The hard work I put in for the first one popped in for all the other ones. So that was awesome. But it wasn't easy to get to that point, to become an oversupplier, which I wouldn't recommend becoming an oversupplier, but to boost your confidence and to make you feel like you can support that baby, and to give you that like internal, like, I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. Like, I went through a lot, and that in my mind I became an oversupplier so that I felt that I was capable of doing it and that I had no worries, even though I still kind of, on the occasion, I mean, every mom, no matter what, if you're an oversupplier or not, you always wonder, like, am I making enough milk? You know, like, I'm on my 4th boy, and I thought that for him, right? This chunk, this beautiful little boy, I thought about that for him. I thought, oh my gosh, is he getting enough milk? Like, is my milk like dropping? What's going on? I don't know. That's happened with all of them. It was especially hard with my first one. So I am actually kind of on a mission to help moms. I want to help moms, and I want them to feel confident and comfortable and capable. Like, you have the power, you have the capability, you are able to do anything and take care of that baby just fine. You are able to do it, and I want to encourage you to do that. I want to help you. I want to help you find the courage in yourself to do that, because that's what's really hard, especially as a first-time mom. So if you're interested and you want me to, I can go over what I did with my second boy to get to where I am. I can go over, say you're starting work. I was a full-time working mom and breastfeeding for 3 of my boys. I'm on my 4th one right now, and I only work 2 days a week. So my Willow pump, I only use my Willow pump twice a week, so that's the other thing. I wouldn't use this for a full-time job if I were you. I wouldn't get this for a full-time job. But anyway, if you want some advice on things to do or anything that you might need to overcome or figure out, I would love to help you guys. I want to give you as much knowledge as I can. I'm also taking a lactation consulting course. I'm going to become a certified lactation consultant. So I am trying to do that as well. I love you so much. Oh, don't cry. Oh, don't cry. I love you. Please don't cry. My sweet boy. I love you so much. But yeah, I hope that you guys find my video useful. And if you need anything or if you have questions about anything, I would love to help you. If you are a first-time mom or you are still pregnant, look up the first hour after you have your baby, okay? It's and you want to breastfeed, right? You want to breastfeed, you're pregnant, look up that first hour. Oh, so talkative. There's also a really great show or movie on Amazon. It's called The Milky Way. I think it comes with ads and it's free. It's really good. It's really good. I loved it. So those are some of the stuff that I would recommend right now. I hope that if you have questions, let me know and I will try to help out. Have a good day.